Alright, here's the lucky pair. This is another great video by Ricky Kennerly Cichlids. This is the big Frontosa comeback. The comeback with breeding action. I'm going to show you some stripping. Let me show you myself. So basically you have to sometimes get down to business. Down to business, concentrate on what you've done in the past, get things working again. You can't always listen to everybody on YouTube or on Facebook or Google or whatever. You got to know what to do, what's right here in your heart. Get things going again. To get your life straightened out, get your fish life straightened out. So in this case, got the life of the fish straightened out because they got their business going again. They're breeding, they're mating. You know your fish are happier when they're mating. And they're healthier. So in this video we're looking at stripping the fish, the new location of the where the fry going to be at. You've seen this previous video, you saw how I set up for this. It was a big decision where to put the fish. So stay tuned for the rest of this video. It's going to be exciting. Now, I've previously done videos on stripping of the fish. Okay, I have. But you know, every time a fish breeds, you know, people want to see, you know, you go through the process again. Sometimes they won't watch older videos. So I want you to watch this case, how it will be, because this time around, I think there'll be less egg sac, be a lot of swimming. So it may be a little bit more harder to get all the fry out because they like to swim back up into the mouth sometimes. So let's check this video out and stay tuned. So some of you may have wondered, you know, how I do the stripping of the fish. Well, in previous times I've done this almost every time I've stripped a Frontosa, I've used these coolers. And you can use different things, but this has worked good for me. It doesn't hold a whole lot of water, but it's big enough to hold the female because if there's too much space, she'll swim around, and if she slips out of your hand, it's harder to get her back in it. So the important thing is when you put water in the cooler to strip her in there, you get the water actually out of the aquarium. So I'll be doing that. So the important things about that is it's the same water chemistry, and it should be basically the same temperature as what's in the aquarium. Also, you're doing a little bit of a water change for that aquarium, so that's always good. So let's go ahead and get the water in there, and then I'll show you what happens when I get her out of there. It will be live. I'm not going to edit it now. Hopefully I'll have the camera angle exactly where it needs to be, and you'll be able to see everything just perfect, because you can't really do over and say, hey fish, go swim back up there in the mom's mouth, and I'll refilm it. So we'll do what we can. Now you see there, Spiro is looking good. That's the male. So also at the end of this video, I'll show you how quickly Toe eats. She always eats right after the stripping of the fry. So that's pretty important to also watch. So keep on staying tuned. So I've got the water in the cooler. You see right here. It's up to about 3-4 inches up. Make sure that you can completely submerge the fish in the water when doing the stripping. I always want to make sure that the gills are wet so they won't dry out during the stripping procedure. It usually doesn't take long. The last few times it didn't take long at all. We'll see how this time goes. She's in the cave, so I'll get it out. May not be completely smooth, but you'll see it in action. We'll see what happens. Alright, here we go. She's in the cave, so what I'll do is just lift the cave up, have the net positioned so she can come into the net from the cave. Here she comes. Alright. A lot of sand in there. Whoa, she's swimming around pretty good in there. So I'm going to let her swim into the cooler. Get her out, get all the sand out. Let her relax a little bit. Now I'll try to use my fingers this time. Now on peacocks I use like a discount card you put on your keychain. Hopefully this is a good. You can see me here. I don't have time to check. I guess I could check, but let me check real quick to see if you can see me. Yeah, I think you can. Alright, so let's make this a little bit less stressful for her. Usually use one hand. Get used to this. A lot of egg sac. A lot more than I thought. A lot more babies than usual. Excited about that. I think that's all of them. I'm going to put her back in. Oh, didn't have the lid open. That's it. Done. So let me zoom in. Let me get the camera off the tripod and show you how many are actually there. Be a little jerky a little bit, but there's about 40 of them, I guess. So this has been like 3 weeks, so I would have thought that they would have been swimming by now. Maybe I misjudged it when they actually mated. So these will be going into a tumbler now. And I'm going to show you how I get these guys into the cobalt tumbler without using a net. It's kind of a neat little thing I do. So hopefully you let me get a better focus on them. There they are. Now if there was any that was not spit out, she'll spit out when she starts, because there's just a few left. She'll start to eat right away, and I'll show you how she eats right after being stripped. So let me get the cobalt tumbler and I'll show you what I do with that. Okay, you see here I got the cobalt tumbler. I got water from the aquarium where the fry is at. I don't use fresh water, I use the water from the fry, where the parents are from. Now let me show you what I'm going to use. I'm going to use the turkey baster. This turkey baster allows me to pick up the fry. If you see the end of it, it's quite big. It picks up the fry, and then I put them in the egg tumbler. So I'm going to show you first down here at the cooler how I do that. Make sure it's focused. They have a big egg sac, so that's why I use a turkey baster. When you put your finger over the end, you can get maybe 10 of them in there at a time. And you put it in the egg tumbler. Way bigger batch than normal. Very happy about this batch. I think it will be this big ongoing, maybe even bigger, because of the addition to the artificial crab meat that I've been feeding them. Big egg sacs. I think these fry are going to be bigger than normal. The reason I don't fill the tumbler up all the way is because when you use the turkey baster to put the wigglers in, you're putting a little bit of the water in there from the cooler. This method is way better than if you use the net. Nets can easily hurt the wigglers. So from experience, turkey basters look good. So let me show you. Let me see if I can show you. Let me focus in on that. There, get the button. So they're in the actual cobalt tumbler. I'm going to get that set up and show you bubbling away. And I'll also show you how that toe eats right after being stripped. So it was actually a surprise that they're got egg sacs. Thought they'd be swimming around. With these, you don't have to have a huge amount of current tumbling them, because you actually damage more of them and kill more of them off by having them bouncing around your tumbler. What you need is you have some circulation, and they'll be good. I don't know if you can see the bubbles. Let me focus in there. So it's not a huge amount of bubbles coming up, but they don't need a whole lot. And these need some water circulation through there to keep from getting stagnant. Any of them die, you need to get them out as quick as possible. I don't think any of these will die. They all look healthy. So it was a change. Easy to do. Like I said, a big surprise is they were actually having a big egg sac on them. So this is their new aquarium here. And as soon as they wiggle where they're swimming a little bit, I'll take them out of the egg tumbler. When I mean swimming a little bit, I mean actually swimming pretty good. But if they have a little bit of egg sac, that's fine, as long as they can get around, not be eaten by a snail. And I'll put them in the aquarium. So let's go look at toe eating right away, right after being stripped. We're going to look to see if past experience is going to show the same things as it is now, which is that the female will eat right after being stripped. So let's put some artificial crab meat in there. Of course, Spyro has to get the first bit. Let me turn the light off overhead. Yep, she's eating. Like I said, past experience is showing me that she would eat right away. That's because she's been fasting the whole time she's had these young. The wigglers in her mouth, which has been about 2.5 to 3 weeks. I thought it was, there she's eating some more. Look at that. Boom, she's scooping it up. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It wasn't as smooth as I thought it was going to be, but it turned out pretty good. It was another great video about Ricky Kennerly cichlids. And you can see that Spyro is looking good. And it'll probably be not much longer before they're breeding again. It'll be a few weeks. But with this good food, they will breed a lot quicker than normal. She's having more fry than normal. It looks like about 40 of them. In the previous pass, she was a lot smaller, of course, but in the previous pass, she was only having about 20 fry every time, and now she's having at least 40, and she's still growing. So it's looking really good for the Frontosa comeback. Thanks for watching the Frontosa comeback. Stay tuned for more videos from Ricky Kennerly Cichlids.